What's up, everybody? Okay, this isn't gonna work. So I have earbuds in, as I usually do. But this time, lol. We're live. But this time, I left my music playing. Not sure if you guys can hear it. Might be a copyright violation. I decided I wanted to leave it playing because I don't know, music. I like music a lot, right? But it was really loud, so I just turned the music down. So we're good now. If you guys hear me like singing or anything or like dancing in the middle, you'll know what's up. I'll put links to the songs I'm singing if I sing anything. Whatever. We'll get to that. Anyway, that's not that's not at all what I meant to talk about. There's your first minute basically. Well, that's how it is, I guess. So welcome to day. I forgot to rename this. Oh well. I'll rename it tomorrow or right now. Okay, I renamed it. Welcome to day 46. We're alive. I feel a lot better today. Definitely because I ate a lot more today than in the past few days. Because I ate a lot. Anyway. So I want to update you guys on what I'm doing. I guess for now, this channel, as I previously alluded. I swear I speak English, I promise. As I previously mentioned, this channel is basically my diary. I don't know, I ramble on here, talk about my day. I don't really have any actual followers. Oh wait, no I do, I have that one follower. That's not me. I have 3 followers on this channel, but one of them is not me. And it's a Tumblr mutual. Hello friend. I'm gonna be completely honest, and I forgot your name. High key, I am scrolling through my dash right now looking for you so that I can find your blog and say hi to you. Oh no. No, it was a joke. Oh no. Sorry friends, hold on. Sorry. Yikes. Okay, so I'm not speaking right now, and usually that's not a good sign because people will leave the live stream. But there's no one here. Is there? Actually, I haven't checked. Usually, it actually tells me. It says there's someone here, actually. Hello, if you're here. I apologize, and I'll try to keep talking, even if it's talking really slow. I'm still looking for my mutual, because I still want to name you by your name. Maybe you don't want to be named. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I apologize. I think you guys can still hear this stinging, so I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, just gonna get to it. It's been 3.5 minutes. What I did today? Actually, very little. I mostly procrastinated on making my first video, which is kind of sad in a way, but I wasn't really procrastinating. I was looking into future possibilities. It was related to what I was talking about yesterday, I think. I was talking about endangered languages. I was watching a TED Talk today about Irish, and Irish is an endangered language. Not sure if everyone knows that, but it is still spoken in Ireland, and actually lots of, well, I wouldn't say lots of places, but it's spoken in Canada. That's not the northeast. That's the, I guess, southeast of Canada. Yikes, that's weird. The like maritime provinces. There's also, I mean, obviously, Irish speakers in Ireland, in the UK, you know, Wales, England, Scotland, etc. Historically, a lot of Irish speakers emigrated to the US, to Australia, to Canada. So those places have large numbers of ethnic Irish people, but not a lot of Irish speakers. And through colonization from England, Ireland has actually seen a very large decrease in the Irish-speaking population of the island. And so the TED Talk that I was watching was about this woman who, I think her name is Teresa Lin, and she did her PhD in studying Irish and kind of the role that social media and technology in the modern day plays in revitalizing, bringing, breathing life back into this endangered language, and how we can really use the internet and use technology as a whole to carve out these spaces and create intentional communities on the internet where we can foster and really protect our heritage, our history, etc. And I say our, I think because of what I mentioned last time, like this isn't just for Irish people. What I want to create is a platform that is for all minority language speakers. In theory, it would be like for everyone. I envision it as being more than just a language learning site, even though that's kind of what it is at its core. I want it to be more than a language learning website. I want it to be like a place where you can go to learn about linguistics and what broadly what linguistics is, because I'm interested in like sociolinguistics. I'm interested in the variation side of linguistics, not so much in like the philosophical or computational side of linguistics. And so I think it's really valuable to learn specifically about the concepts like idiolects and dialects, sociolects, things like that. How, I guess, linguistics is in modern times starting to really wrap its collective mind around the concept of a language and like what it really means. Because, I don't know, there's that old saying where a language is a dialect with an army and a navy, and that's really just, it's frustratingly unsatisfying at this point, because it's to the point where we as a linguistics, as a community that studies the science of language, we need to stop referring to individual dialects as languages, just completely. It confuses people. If we are to be taken seriously as a science, like you wouldn't go around, well, okay, I guess it's, maybe the problem isn't so much of it, like, lay people get confused, but like, if linguists themselves, if the best answer that people can give, people who study language, if the best answer that they can give is that a language is a dialect with an army and a navy, then we have a problem, because that's not what it is. Modern linguistics at this point has moved beyond that. We know what languages are and what they're not. So, at least by the definition that I'm operating under, which admittedly is not necessarily widely accepted. I mean, not necessarily, sorry, 100%, not 100, completely, that's not what I'm looking for either. Not necessarily universally accepted, there we go, that's what I meant. The idea is that speech is a language. Writing is a language. Signed language is a language. But each sign language, so like American Sign Language, British Sign Language, French Sign Language, Nicaraguan Sign Language, all of those are dialects of a signed language. And that doesn't necessarily mean that all of these have a same common ancestor in any way. Like, if you know about Nicaraguan Sign Language, that one definitely, like, that one's like brand new almost. I mean, it was created in like the 70s, I think. So the idea isn't so much that they have to have a genetic relationship or a historical relationship with each other, but there is a kind of like a medium relationship. Not like medium, small, medium, large. Medium isn't like media. Like, sign languages are all produced through the same medium, signing, right? You use your hands, you use your face, you use your body. There's the relationship between your hands and your body and your face. Those are all components that you use in signed languages, and those are things that are just by the nature of being signed languages. That's like part of what encompasses that language. And the same goes for speech. You have what I'm doing right now, I'm flapping my tongue around my mouth, right? But we also use the face. We also use the body. I'm using my hands. Even though my hands aren't really producing any lexical information, they're still being used, right? And like my face as well. And oftentimes, I mean, I don't know, I guess that's like a pragmatic or semantic difference, not so much a lexical difference, like, oh, right, versus like, oh, no, I mean, like, yeah, right, is what I mean. Like, someone's like, yeah, right, versus like, yeah, right, right. Like those are kind of like opposites in some way, but those aren't lexical differences. Those are like semantic pragmatic differences. But the point is, um, French, Hindi, Kishkayana, Binahan, those are all dialects. English is a dialect. So it gets a little bit complicated because you have to explain the concept of an idiolect and a sociolect and a geolect and like a standard dialect. So standard English is a thing, and like, well, it's kind of a thing. There's standard American English and there's standard British English and there's standard Australian English and standard New Zealand English or whatever. But in reality, as linguists, we realize that the functional unit is a communalect. So we refer to different communities, usually geographic communities, as having a dialect. So you might hear about like New York City English or Boston English or Mexican Spanish. That's a little too broad. Mexico City Spanish or Yucatan Spanish or I think you get the idea, right? So there are these very localized varieties, and people are said to speak dialects that are both geolects and sociolects, right? So you take in features that are social and geographic, related to where you're living and the people that you're around, and those things are all sort of related. But anyway, to not get too far down this rabbit hole, there's a lot of things that people could stand to learn, including some linguists, right? And I think it's kind of a problem. So that's something that I want to address with this website. I want to teach people what it means to be a speaker of an idiolect, because everyone has their own individual idiolect, and that's like what it means. And then a communalect becomes kind of the average of those idiolects, assuming that there's like an actual viable community there, right? Like you wouldn't say that average American English is the same thing, or like standard American English is the same thing as like an average American English, because there's so many different features, and if you were to take America as like one linguistic community, like that's not really something feasible. Like someone from the South, from like, I don't know, the mountains in like South Carolina or something, is gonna have or is gonna be not as easily understood by people who live in like the Midwest and like Iowa or something. Like they have a like relatively standard geographic, so geolect, right? They're just by random coincidence of geography and history, the dialect that they natively speak in the geolect that they natively speak in certain parts of Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, etc., could be considered in theory general American, where they don't actually exhibit any features that are particularly marked, and so most people can't really tell where they're from. Whereas there are features that are really specific to the west half of the country, or like the northeast fourth of the country, or the southeast fourth of the country, etc. And so there's a lot of variation that people need to be aware of, because it just, I mean, it exists, and I think it helps you really understand what diversity looks like, linguistic diversity can look like, even in I want to call it a language, but even in a capital D dialect like English, there's a lot of variation. And I think it really helps you appreciate what everyone else is doing when you understand a little bit like what everyone else is doing. Like you hear like Southern people in their Southern drawl, but like if you understand the diphthongization of like the cat vowel to like K, right? If you understand like what they're doing phonetically, phonologically, it makes it a lot more fascinating in my opinion. But I think it humanizes them a little bit in the sense that like you stop thinking about why they talk like that, and you start to understand why they talk like that. Right? It's just a matter of history and the history of the community and the people, the idiolects of the people who lived in that community, were influential in that community. Yeah, alright, so this is getting really long. And I didn't even get to the part where I talked about the map of linguistics, which I'm gonna make and publish tomorrow on my Language Corner channel, the Language Corner channel, the Language Corner YouTube channel. I actually am not 100% done with the script yet, and I'm publishing the video tomorrow, but I think I'll get it done. I'm gonna try to finish the script now, tonight, before going to bed, obviously, but also I'm gonna try to do some of the video and like some of the actual map itself before I go to bed. And then I'll try to finish it up tomorrow and then publish it. I'm really excited. I also really love this song. Anyway, Lamau. Majoris by Becky G and Bad Bunny. Anyway, I wish I knew the lyrics to Bad Bunny's part. Of course I knew Becky G's part. Anyway, I love this song. Anyway, I'm done singing that song. Lamau. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that, because most of what I did today was look into. I'm getting roasted on the internet. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye, friends. Stay curious. Stay humble. I'll see you later.